we try, find a life beyond the pain and strife. Pain and strife, it's not possible. In this world we might try. Wordt posłuchaj, dek pozorz.
Jest svi čas, to je sad...
To samo objavi, pa... It's just a dream, just a dream, just a dream, just a dream. Another world, real world, far away from here. The road is there, waiting for you. Please now the teacher to share, the teacher to share. There is another world, real world, far away from here. The road is there, waiting for you. Please now the teacher to share, the teacher to share. Madhava, 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 Madhava. Try to reach your God. This is not in vain. Try to reach your God. There is so much to gain. Try to reach your God. This is not in vain. Try to reach your God. There is so much to gain. Hare Krishna, welcome to the third and fourth part of our seminar called Gita for Your Success. So, last days we spoke about asking excellent questions and using positive language. And today we will cover two topics. First is releasing your mind's potential, and the second one is growing giver's heart. Growing giver's heart. This is the Bhagavad Gita, as it is. This is the book which is the basis for our seminar. And this book is full of success principles. Now, even devotees who are practicing Krishna consciousness actually don't use this book as a success manual. They read it as maybe philosophical book or maybe religious book. But actually, if you look at the Gita as the success manual, you can discover so many amazing tools and principles. And what I'm trying to do is to highlight some of the principles and try to inspire people to read it from that point of view and get more, gain more than by reading mundane success books. Bhagavad Gita is more profound, it is holistic, it speaks about how to take care of our body, mind and spirit. So today we will be speaking about the mind and the heart, and these are very important aspects of our lives. And before we start, I will sing one song. And you can join me when I sing a chorus, and the chorus I will teach you now. So the chorus goes like this. Jai Radha Madan Mohan, Jai Radha Madan Mohan, Jai Radha Madan Mohan Radhe. Jai Radha Madan Mohan, Jai Radha Madan Mohan, Jai Radha Madan Mohan Radhe. Now, the Jai Radha Madan Mohan should be sang by men, and what ladies should sing is actually a Radhe, like this. Jai Jai Radha Madan Mohan Radhe, Jai Radha Madan Mohan Radhe, Jai Radha Madan Mohan Radhe. So ladies sing Radhe. Jai Radha Madan Mohan, Jai Radha Madan Mohan. Then the men sing Jai Radha Madan Mohan. Be careful with the cable. Be careful with the cable. Jai Radha Madan Mohan Radhe, Jai Radha Madan Mohan Radhe, Jai Radha Madan Mohan Radhe. Jai Radha Madan Mohan Radhe, Jai Radha Madan Mohan Jai Radha Madan Mohan Radhe. So now you know how to sing. Radhe, Radhe, Radhe. Like this, it's simple. So I will sing a little bit, a few lines in English. I wrote this in '98. Made this song in 1998. Actually, the melody is stolen. Take me to the station and put me on a train. I got my expectation to be right here again. Once I was a free man, and now I am so bound. And never in my whole life my heart was so broken down. Jai Radha Madan Mohan, Jai Radha Madan Mohan, Jai Radha Madan Mohan Radhe. So give up all shyness. Jai Radha Madan Mohan Radhe, Jai Radha Madan Mohan Radhe, Jai Radha Madan Mohan Radhe. Jai Radha Madan Mohan Radhe, Jai Radha Madan Mohan Radhe, Jai Radha Madan Mohan Radhe. Jai Radha Madan Mohan Radhe, Jai Radha Madan Mohan Radhe, Jai Radha Madan Mohan Radhe. Still holy name is stronger than any weakness deep. We have the chance in Italy and go back to Him, no more to wait. Still holy name is stronger than any weakness deep. We have to chant together and go back to Him, no more to wait. Thank you. So thank you for coming today. This is our third session, and today we will cover two topics, and tomorrow is the fourth session and the last session, and we will cover also two topics. So the whole seminar has 6 topics, and first 2 I mentioned, asking excellent questions and using positive language, and today we speak about releasing the mind's potential and growing giver's heart. According to the scriptures, our mind has different functions, and there is a description of 2 functions and 3 functions, so 5, you can say 5 functions. First functions of the mind are sankalpa and vikalpa, accepting and rejecting. So we always want to accept what is favorable for Krishna consciousness or for spiritual development, and reject what is unfavorable. We always make choices non-stop. You made a choice to come here, which is very nice. I'm very grateful to you for that. But in life, we always make choices. Shall I go left or right? Shall I come to the temple or not? What shall I do next? And we make choices about what we are going to do, but actually we also have a choice about what we are going to think, feel, and will. That's something that many people don't know. Or maybe even they have heard about it, but they forget it. Like many devotees, they know that they're not the mind, but they often identify with the mind. So in order to release mind's potential, we have to understand that the mind, we are not the mind, and that we can have a control over the mind. We can control the mind. We can choose what we think, we can choose what we feel, and we can choose what we desire. This will not be interactive now.
No, but I have a question.
No, you can ask it later.
Okay.
Only when I finish the first section, this will be maybe half an hour, then there will be questions or comments. If you have a question, you can write it down and then ask later, or remember it. So, sankalpa and vikalpa are 2 questions of the mind, two functions of the mind, acceptance and rejection, and there is 3 additional functions, thinking, feeling, and willing. And we will be speaking how to optimize these functions. Now, to optimize the acceptance and rejection function of the mind, we actually have to train ourselves to accept what is favorable and reject what is unfavorable. Now you may say, favorable for what? If you ask me to give a general statement, I can say that favorable for your long-term benefit. Now when we say favorable for Krishna consciousness, for those who understand what it means, then it's also clear, and it's described in the scriptures, what is favorable and what is unfavorable. So one has to see what is favorable for his or her long-term benefit, and then make choices based on that. In order to make good choices, one has to determine his or her priorities. What is most important to me? So, if you have, like, I don't know, if you sleep 7 hours, or let's say 6 hours, and then 18 hours you have, or if you sleep 8 hours, you have 16 hours of awake state, and then you ask yourself, how I am going to use my time? What choices will I make today? So, there's something in the air that just irritates my throat here. Maybe it's incense. Yeah. So, you can use your mind to make better choices throughout the day, to make the choices that will be more beneficial for you. And to do that, you can use the questions that we spoke about. You can use excellent questions. So you can ask yourself, what is the best use of my time today? How can I best use my time on Wednesday? Today is Wednesday. And you thought that maybe a good use of time is to come to the temple and attend the seminar, which I believe is a good choice. But I hope you find it useful. After we finish, you will be able to say for yourself, was it useful or not. So, when you determine what is important to you, when you determine what is beneficial for you, then you can make choices. So first you have to become clear. What is it that I want? What is it that I need? What is it that I want to accomplish today? What are my goals for today? What action I should take today? And then you can plan your time and you can make good choices. Sometimes you can't it just doesn't go as you planned, but at least you can have a nice plan and do your best. I'm sorry.
You need some water?
I don't know if it will help. Maybe it will help. Then there is 3 other functions: thinking, feeling, and willing. So we want to optimize these 3 functions. How do we think? Now, in order to change anything, you first have to become aware of it. Like, if you become aware of how you think, what thoughts are going on in the mind, then you can influence and you can choose what you think. You can choose what you think. You can influence your thoughts. We want to think inspiring thoughts, positive thoughts, spiritual thoughts. We don't want, yesterday we spoke about positive language and how positive language should be also in the mind, not only speaking, but also positive internal dialogue, how we talk to ourselves. So it also has to do with thinking. Internal dialogue is actually thinking. Now, there is few practical things you can do to improve your thinking. For example, it's better to think about present and the future than to think about the past, especially if the past is bad. There is no need to meditate on the past that was unpleasant. We can focus on the present and the future. Then we can focus on what we want, not what we don't want. Many people have a tendency to think about what they don't want and then they feel bad. But if you think about what you want, it can inspire you to work on it and to achieve it as a goal. Then think about what you can do, not about what you cannot do. Think about what you can do, not about what you can. Some people speak about what they cannot do. Oh, I can't do this, can't do that because of this and that. So I asked them what you can do. Is there anything you can do? Once I complained to one of our teachers that I'm not very good at one particular activity, and he said, well, why should you waste time on that? Like thinking about what you can't do, but think about what you can do. Maybe you can help somebody do it, maybe you can do it a different way, maybe you can do something else. So there is so many options. And if you optimize your thinking, you will reduce the waste of your time. Because what we think, it manifests through action. So thinking thoughts that are inspiring, or yesterday we spoke about speaking words that are truthful, pleasing, beneficial, and not agitating to others, and always reciting the Vedic literature. So we can apply the same thing to the mind and to the thinking. Thinking words that are truthful, or thinking thoughts that are truthful, pleasing, beneficial, and not agitating to others, and always reciting the Vedic literature. Bhagavad Gita also explains, we will look at this a little bit later, explains the austerity of the mind, and it gives also some indications how to optimize the usage of the mind. So the point is that you can choose what you think. Thoughts come to us, it's true, but we can choose to think thoughts that are more productive, more inspiring, more satisfying. If you think about what's wrong in the world, you will not be able to feel good. So, but if you think about what works, that's a better usage of the mind. And if you have goals and think about your goals, especially if they're inspiring, then you optimize your thinking. You use your thinking power in order to achieve wonderful things, in order to achieve wonderful results. Bhagavad Gita says, Srila Prabhupada says in the Bhagavad Gita, to think of the welfare of others, to think how to do good to others. This is a good usage of the mind. Of course, you can also think how to do good to yourself, especially if you are not very good at taking care of yourself. So how to take care of yourself, how to take care of others, how to help others succeed, how to help others become more happy, more successful. This life is meant for serving others and also to have taking care of ourselves so that we can be fit to serve others. Because this is our nature. Our nature is that we want to serve. Of course, we can think of Krishna and His service and how to please Him. So you can optimize your thinking by using excellent questions and using positive language. So what we're discussing. Then feeling. Now also you can choose how you feel. You can choose how you feel. Many people don't understand that. You can choose how you feel. And we did an exercise yesterday. I can show you how simply by changing the physical position, you can change how you feel. So please get up. The same exercise. Raise your arms and try your best to be depressed.
No, it's not possible.
Try your best to be depressed in this position. Then do a little Swami step and try to double your depression. Now chant Hare Krishna softly, continue dancing and triple your depression. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you. So, who managed to be depressed in this position? Raise your hand. Anybody managed to be depressed? Nobody. It's very difficult to be depressed when your arms are raised. You just change the position of your body and it influences the mind so much that you cannot be depressed. And so you may say, so where did you get this technique? Maybe you got it in some New Age book or some success book, or maybe you met a guru in India or a magician. But actually, where I got this is on the altar. It's on the altar. Look at the altar.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
of course.
So, God is the supreme enjoyer. He is the supreme controller. He comes to this world as Lord Chaitanya to enjoy devotional service. And why do you think he always has raised arms? Because in that position, you're naturally happy. You're naturally happy. So now I'm telling you, you can choose how you feel, but now I'm giving you a practical way how to change how you feel instantaneously, simply by changing the posture.
Smiling also helps.
So, smiling helps also.
Yeah. It actually generates a positive chemical.
Okay. Sorry.
It does.
So discussion will be later.
That's not
This is
discussion.
more like a
It's a confirmation of what you said.
lecture. But please don't jump in.
I'm sorry.
Okay. So now, what you can do to feel better on the more subtle level is also incredible. It's amazing. If you cultivate your thinking, if you awaken your finer feelings that you have as a spiritual being, then you can always feel good. You can always feel good. It's really, really wonderful what is Krishna is offering us. He is offering us the direct connection with the source of all pleasure. And that's himself. So to the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, if one chants properly, he can actually feel pleasure. He can feel good. If we chant properly, we can feel good immediately. If we read the scriptures, we can feel good also by listening to the philosophy, by being absorbed in the philosophy, by enjoying wonderful philosophical points and wisdom of the Bhagavad Gita. So, if something happens, actually you can choose how you feel about it. People, they react automatically. I gave this example the other day, but we can use it for this situation also. Like if somebody tells you you're ugly, so you can feel very bad about it, especially if you identify with the body. If you say to a person who is in material consciousness, you are ugly, this person, you will make sure that you also become ugly. He will beat you up. They will make sure you become blue. So they obviously feel very bad about what you said. But if you say to a spiritual person, you're ugly, they will smile and say, thank God I'm not this body. You actually cannot see me. Can you? Maybe can somebody tell them to stop this phone or something? It stopped now. Okay. So that's one example. How two people feel differently about the same thing, because the second person who is spiritual, he has higher knowledge, and he is not disturbed. He understands the what is behind. He understands the deeper truth behind it. And if you understand your nature, your original nature, your identity, that you are Satchitananda, this means full of knowledge, eternal, full of knowledge and bliss. It is my original nature that we are joyful, and that joyful means feeling good. Then there is no reason to feel bad at any point. So this understanding is given in the Bhagavad Gita, that we are spirit soul, and this means always blissful. So the more we identify with the spirit soul, the more we feel good. Now this realization is possible through the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra and through the reading of the Bhagavad Gita. Because the spiritual sound vibration awakens our original nature. It awakens our original nature. What do you say when somebody asks you, how are you?
Good.
You say good.
I'm fine.
Fine. What I try to say, I say, I'm getting better and better and better every day. And just by saying this, I feel better. Feeling bad is mental laziness. You may say, where did you get this idea from now? It's here. Krishna says in the 17th chapter, Mana prasada somyatvam, that satisfaction of the mind. Mana prasada. Prasada means satisfaction. We call our food prasadam. Food gives satisfaction. Mana prasada, satisfaction of the mind, is the austerity. Because the mind likes to be miserable. So to keep your mind always in a good mood, it's actually not easy. Here it is said, it is austerity. So, if you're not lazy, you will actually be in the good mood all the time. Now, one good thing about what God has given us is that we can choose how we react to things. We can choose how we react. Things that we experience make us feel bad or good. But you can choose how you react, and you can choose how you feel about something. I just gave you an example of a person who is insulted. So you are ugly. Then one freaks out completely. And the other person is smiling and says, you can't see me, I'm inside. So if you have higher knowledge, then nobody can insult you. You don't identify with the body. Even if they say you are stupid, you may say, well, maybe I don't have so much material intelligence, but I have spiritual intelligence. And spiritual intelligence means connection with God. So, between stimulus and our response, there is a space. And in that space lies our freedom to choose our response. We can choose how we respond to different stimuli, to different events, whatever happens to us throughout the day. And we can choose how we feel about it. One great feeling that you can cultivate in your heart is the feeling of gratitude. When you feel grateful, then gratitude invites happiness. Happiness gladly enters a grateful heart. Happiness gladly enters a grateful heart. Happiness does not enter an ungrateful heart. Happiness does not enter an ungrateful heart. So we want to have the feeling of gratitude. We want to feel love inside. We want to be a loving person. We want to feel care for people. We want to feel love for God. We want to feel love for other living entities. And we want to serve. We want we want to serve. We want to contribute to other people's lives. So thinking is also related. If you think positive thoughts, then it influences how you feel. Whatever you think influences how you feel, and then also it influences what you desire to do. So the third function of the mind is willing or desires. So we want to optimize, we want to desire things that are favorable. People come to me when we do coaching sessions and say, I want this. And I say, okay, you're clear about what you want, but my question is this favorable for you? Long term, is it auspicious, and so on. So we can examine the goal from that point of view. Is it favorable long term? Regarding desires, it's very important. Many people don't know what they want. So when someone tells you, I don't know what you want, you can tell them, you can choose what you want. There are some options. So what are your options? Many people, when you ask them what they want, they will say, I want to be happy. Everybody wants to be happy. So you can ask them, be more specific. What does it mean to you to be happy? What do you want to do? What do you want to be? What do you want to have? You help them to define more specifically and more clearly what do they want. It's a very difficult question, what do you want? For many people, it's not easy. And saying I want to be happy is very general and it's vague. How you want to be happy? With whom? Where? When? So I want to be happy. I want to do this. So one question to think about is, what do you want to contribute? What do you want to do in life? What do you want to contribute? What kind of a person you want to be? What kind of a character you want to have? So, if you train yourself to ask yourself again and again, what do I want? Or have somebody like a coach or a friend who will ask you always these questions, clarification questions. And we learned about questions in the first session 2 days ago. Then you can become more clear about what you want. Clarity is the beginning of success. So be clear in your thinking, be clear in your feelings, what kind of feelings you have, and be clear in your desires. What is it that you want in life? And I recommend, not only me, but so many teachers, they recommend write it down. Always write down your goals. What is it that you want? And make it very specific. make it measurable, make it, put a deadline on it. So specific goals actually push you to take action. Now you can want for yourself and you can want for others. Well, every day people ask me for blessings. And then I say, well, I don't know if I'm qualified to give you blessings, but I wish the best for you. I wish the best for you. And wishing well to others is a very nice activity. It's good for us and good for others. I wish you well. I wish you all the best. May you be blessed. All good fortune unto you. So when you wish well for others, then God is pleased. Because He likes that we are selfless, that we want to contribute to other people's lives, that we, make it easier for people, or make pleasant surprises for people. So you can want for others too. But the more you contribute to others, the more you contribute to yourself also. Because you get rewarded by the law of the universe, by the law of God. You get rewarded for your contribution, for your service, because this is the law of nature, this is the law of God. It's called the law of service. We practice devotional service. It's not ordinary service, it's a service with love and devotion. So, now you can sit and define in every area of your life what you want. You can have different kinds of lists how you do this, but let's say you say, okay, what do I want to do with my body, what do I want to do with my mind, what do I want to do with my soul, with my spirit, what kind of health do I want to have for my body. So what do I want to do with my body? If you ask yourself what I want to do with, and then different areas, then what do I want to be? What kind of a person do I want to be? What kind of relationships do I want to have? It's very useful if you define relationships. Now, people sometimes mix different roles and different relationships. Just like in my work, I try to help people, but sometimes people you're helping, they become attached to you. And then it becomes mixed. Then maybe they have some ideas to have different kind of relationship. So I have to be very clear what is my relationship with people I assist, and what is my relationship with people I'm more close to. And let them know what is what. So if you think about your relationships, you can probably find that somewhere, some relationships, there is some mixture. It's not very clear, it's not clearly defined. How do I relate to? If you have a child, then you relate to your child as a parent who is in charge. But when the child grows up, maybe hits 15, then you can't do this anymore. It's difficult to just be a controlling parent. You have to become a friend. You have to become a friend. So your role changes as your life evolves. So defining what you want to be, what roles you have in life, what is your relationship with other people, and then what do you want to have also. Now, many people want to have material possessions, and they think this will make them happy, and this gives them safety, feeling of safety and security. So, other people, they want to have some inner riches, inner treasure, like a good character. They want to have compassion, they want to feel gratitude, they want to forgive, they want to be patient, tolerant, they want to be friendly towards everyone.
What is tolerant?
What?
Tolerant.
Tolerant. Yeah. So, you can want in both areas. Internal and external. But it's very important to be clear about what you want. To be clear about what you want. Especially from yourself. What do you expect from yourself? Willing or wanting has to do also with different expectations. Now, as devotees of Krishna, or aspiring devotees, we are very much interested in what God wants. And therefore we read in the scriptures and we learn what He wants and what He doesn't like, what He doesn't want, and we try to align our own desires with His desires. So we cannot stop desiring, but we can purify our desires. And whatever you want, you can start wanting it for Krishna. If you want to play a guitar, you can start wanting to play guitar for Krishna. If you want to dance, instead of going to disco, you can come to the temple and dance in the kirtan, dancing for Krishna. And in this way, you connect your tendencies and your desires to Krishna consciousness, and they become purified. So this is a very simple way to spiritualize your desires. So you may tell me, well, I have material desires, I have spiritual desires, I have both. So what shall I do? So my recommendation is keep your spiritual desires and grow them, and you take your material desires, discuss with someone, and try to spiritualize them. Try to engage them in Krishna's service. See how your tendencies, your desires that are not fully spiritual can be engaged and purified. And in this way, you take control of your desires. Bhagavad Gita says in the 2nd chapter that desires come as rivers come into the ocean. Similarly, all kinds of desires come into the mind of a transcendentalist, but because his mind is peaceful like an ocean, he doesn't get agitated. He doesn't get agitated. He remains peaceful. So you can observe, like people when they have desires, they get overwhelmed. Oh, desire, and then they get this burning. But you have power as a soul within you to observe your desire. Wow, there's a desire in my mind, and you can just let it go if it's not very favorable desire, if it's not auspicious. Like you can observe, there is a desire in my mind to smoke. And so what should I do with this desire? I have power over this desire. This desire doesn't have power over me. And I can tell this desire, just get lost. I don't want you. Go away. And the desire will say, are you sure? So, yes, I'm sure. Are you sure? I'll test you a few more times. Are you really want to let it go? So we can never stop desiring, but we have to change the quality of our desires. So these are 3 functions of the mind. We spoke about 2 functions, sankalpa and vikalpa, acceptance and rejection, and 5 functions. And the last thing I wanted to say in relation to the releasing the mind's potential is to use creative faculty of the mind. That some studies show that we are using 3% of our brain potential. 3% only. So with different creativity techniques, or creative techniques,
Nice ringtone.
what's that? Very nice.
That's a nice ringtone.
Is it a text message? It's like a beautiful text message. So there is techniques like it's called mindstorming, when you do brainstorming with yourself, and then there's brainstorming when you do it in a group. We did a little bit yesterday. So when you ask yourself questions about ideas, about options, about possibilities, then you develop the creative muscles of the mind and you become creative. So creative means you will come up with more ideas than you usually, would do if you wouldn't think more, if you wouldn't use the mind, use your intelligence also, using the intelligence. So sometimes you say that for some people you say these people have creative minds. There is a company called IDEO. I don't know if you've heard of it. IDEO is a company that employs incredible variety of experts, and they all sit together. There is a psychologist, and they brainstorm about products, and they come up with amazing ideas. They made a cart, supermarket cart. They made a supermarket cart which is so amazing. I think you can see it on their website. It's basically you check in even while you are, riding the cart? Yeah? Pushing the cart. And when you come to the counter, you're already, you check in yourself already there, and then it can turn 180 degree on the spot. You have to push them. They're heavy to push, and then you have to find a large space to turn it. But this one is so amazing. You just turn it like this, and so they made it so functional. So, but this was the result of many brains who were thinking about it. So. They use brainstorming like anything to create amazing products for people to use for their needs. But you can use your mind much more if you use questions, for example, and use the brainstorming technique, and how you can expand options is simple. You can just ask yourself, what else can I do? How else can I do it? Who else can help me? A combination with the word else. What else? What else could you do? What else can be done? You expand options. So maybe you have heard about creative problem solving. Instead of getting very upset with problems, you become creative. And we spoke yesterday. We have here problem opportunity. Actually, there is no problem. Every problem is an opportunity for something, so you use the creative power of your mind and intelligence to turn problems into opportunities. So there is no problems actually, everything is an opportunity. And very important to always write things down, and then you can go through and see what are the best ideas, put them in some kind of order. Or you can draw if you're a more visual person and have a mind map also. What is a mind map? Like clusters. And whatever suits you to stimulate the creating function of the mind. I have a friend in Macedonia. She works in a school where they teach children from the very early age in a way that engages both sides of the brain, right and left. And they have wonderful textbooks which help them to become extremely creative very early. I have a Gita cards. It's a file with different texts that actually stimulate creativity. They stimulate you how to think creatively. On the internet you can find so many things. Whatever suits you. I found this, I like these cards, and I modified them a little bit to be more Krishna conscious, but I can send it to you. But you can find different techniques and tools how to actually become more creative. Use your mind for improving your life, improving the lives of others, serving, and so on and so forth. So this is the first part of our today's presentation on releasing the mind's potential. Now, I can take a few questions, and if you have more questions, you can ask me later, or email me, or speak to me on Skype. But if you have any question about this, we can discuss. Yes?
What is the difference between feeling and willing?
Feeling and willing. Feeling is feeling, and willing is desire.
But it's all part of the mental process, right?
Yeah, thinking, feeling, and willing. These are three functions of the mind. Thinking, feeling, and willing. We think with our mind different thoughts. We feel, we have different feelings. Bad feelings, good feelings. And we desire. We have different desires that are manifested in the mind. And of course, feeling is connected to the heart. We will speak about the heart shortly.
Feeling or desiring?
Feeling?
What is connected to the heart?
Feeling. Desire also. I want this from the bottom of my heart. Desire.
But is each one progressively stronger? Like you think and then feeling is more strong?
This is exactly what I wanted to speak about and I forgot. Thank you so much. One disciple asked Srila Prabhupada how to control the lust, and he said, catch it on the level of thinking. Don't let it develop into feeling and then into willing to do something about it. So catch it as it manifests as a thought. Now you may say, oh, with me it doesn't manifest as a thought. It immediately manifests as a strong desire. So, well, in that case, you have to deal with this, with that urge on that level. But sometimes it comes slowly as a thought, maybe. And then you can catch it there and deal with it because it's not strong enough. So you are right, I think, that on the level of thinking, the something like an idea or an impulse is not so strong. On the level of feeling is stronger, and if the feeling develops, it becomes a desire to do something about it. So it's a succession of intensity. Okay? Yes?
Indeed, we have started to talk about mind, but for me it's not clear what it is. Is it material, why it's given for us, and
Is the mind material?
yeah, and why it's given for us, and why it's different by other people?
Okay, so you have got there's three questions.
Yeah, because
So first ask me first question.
To specify about mind, what is mind? Because we talk about the functions of the mind, but still, what is mind? You know what
Mind?
it is.
Yeah,
what is mind?
Mind is a subtle covering of the soul. There is a gross covering and subtle covering. Gross covering is earth, water, fire, air, and ether. This is our body is consisted of this. And subtle covering is mind, intelligence, and false ego. This is Bhagavad Gita explaining. Bhumirapo analovayu kamano buddhirevacha ahankara ityame bina prakriti ashtada. It's a subtle covering. It's a part of our subtle body.
And what is this subtle body?
Subtle body is like
Is
a
it
ghost
material? Is it
body.
material?
It is subtle matter.
Subtle matter.
Yeah. Yes.
So we are having it just to survive in this world, or
We have been given a subtle body so that we can identify with this body, we can identify with our false identity, we can think material thoughts. We have been given this by the material nature so that we can function in the material world in illusion.
and but it is not part of our soul, which is eternal.
Soul,
When we die, this mind dies also.
no. The subtle body carries you to another body. Your subtle body, consisted of mind, intelligence, and false ego, carries you, the soul, to another body.
But if it's wrong to be born and you want to be back to God, so do you lose the mind or not?
You don't lose the mind, you purify the mind. Because the soul has the mind. The soul also has the mind, but this mind is pure. And the covering of the soul is the mind that is material. And that's the mind that gives us trouble. But we still, on the spiritual platform, you still have a mind. And you can use it. And that mind is Krishna conscious. So you don't lose your mind in order to become spiritual. You just lose your material mind.
When I die, I lose my material mind.
It depends. If you are so Krishna conscious, then what remains is your spiritual mind. And you don't have material mind anymore. And even now, as you're advancing in Krishna consciousness, your material mind is becoming weaker and weaker, and then your spiritual mind is becoming more prominent.
So the aim of person is to become pure and to get out of material mind and to identify with your spiritual mind. So we have two minds.
We can say that you have one mind, but it's covered. So when the mind is covered, when your original mind is covered with matter, it becomes material mind. But your original mind is pure, spiritual mind.
We also have a spiritual body.
Please,
Ah,
sorry. Sorry. We are not discussing. I'm just answering the question. Yeah?
What's the
Yeah.
question?
Sure.
Because for me it's the most important, you know what I am. I'm a soul, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm a soul.
Yes.
And when I die, feelings die.
No. Feelings don't die. You have feelings. You have spiritual feelings. Nothing dies. You just purify everything.
And what to develop? What is the aim to develop in this life? What is the most target to develop?
Develop your love of God.
Love.
Love of Krishna. That's the most important target. Pure love of God and all living entities. I mean, if you love God, you love His parts and parcels automatically. You see them as your brothers and sisters. Okay? Okay. Okay, so now I would like to continue. It's already 7:15. To continue with the second part, and that's growing giver's heart. Have you given in your life something to somebody from your heart? How many of you have that experience? Like very gladly, sincerely, you have given something like a gift or whatever, or a hug. Okay, so most of you have. I believe all of you have, but maybe you don't remember. Giving from your heart. So the heart of a giver means that the person has a giving attitude. Have giving attitude. You want to give. You want to contribute. You want to serve. This is the attitude of a devotee. Now you can say, why should I give? What about me? What about if I don't get anything? Nobody gives me anything, so how can I give? We should give because it's our original position, our original nature, to serve and to give. And it's very, very rewarding and very, very beneficial for us to do that. This is Sanatana Dharma. Sanatana Dharma, our original occupation, our original quality. People are afraid to give, even things they don't need. Sometimes people keep in their wardrobe things, maybe think that maybe my daughter will wear it. After many years, they offer it to, like mother offers to the daughter a dress, and she says, "This is out of fashion, so I don't want to wear it." And that person was so attached, but some people were deprived of clothes. And she has too much and they have too little, so she could have given. It was an opportunity to give, but they have a hard time giving what they don't need. Sometimes, have you ever cleaned your stuff and you're thinking, okay, so you are just thinking, oh, but I need this, and how can I give this out? And then you go to a seminar and they say, but just give everything you don't really need, what's still basic. And it's so hard, oh, how can I part from this and part from that? And now Krishna is saying something completely on the other side of the continuum in the Bhagavatam. He says, if you offer to me what is most dear to you, you are eternal life. You earn eternal life. In the 11th canto, there is a verse. So we can practice giving. There is a book which I have electronically. I can give it to you. I can send it to you. It's called The Power of Giving, written by a Sufi and a Christian. The Power of Giving. And they give amazing examples, amazing stories about giving. So, one example of giving in the material world, giving with full heart, is a mother. I'm approached by beggars. Somehow they like to approach me. And I never give them money. I give them food, because I don't know what they will do with the money. They might buy a cigarette or a beer. So I give them food, and then sometimes I see that there is a mother and a child, and I have like a feeling that both are hungry sometimes. But when I give the food, then the mother first gives to the child. So she finds more pleasure in feeding the child and giving to the child than in taking something for herself. So this is actually very close to spiritual. If it would be spiritual completely, then she would be ready to do this for anyone, not only for her child that came out of her body. But it's very selfless. So selflessness is also part of the giving mentality. You want to give selflessly. I believe every soul finds pleasure in giving, because it is our nature. And selfishness is such a hellish state. If we are selfish, it's such a hellish state. You're just closed. You're like a rock, like a stone, and you're holding on to something. So when you start asking yourself excellent question, how can I give today, every day, then you will see how your life will change. Your life will transform. And when Krishna sees that you want to give, then he will give you so many things.
It's all.
I have never seen a charity workers who have a lack of something, because they are always giving. So somehow God gives them things. So for a devotee, even more than that is available, and giving has to do with the understanding that this universe is abundant. Abundant means full of riches, wealth, resources. Scarcity mentality means that there is always a lack of something. And the material society and material leaders, they create this atmosphere of lack in order to control people. There is no jobs, there is no oil, there is no this. This is simply not true. It's simply not true. Just create this atmosphere so that it's easier to keep people in fear, manipulate. Everything is given by God for everyone. There is abundance of everything. There is so many fields. There is so much food. Some countries are throwing grains into the sea because they have so much extra, and we know that in other countries people are starving. So because human being is not utilizing the God's resources properly, then some people have too much, some people have too little. So if you believe that God is not poor, then you know that if you give, He will give you more and more. The more you give, the more you get, so that you can give even more, so that you can get even more, so that you can give even more. So He will provide everything. Last 4 years, I have resigned from my work or service in London Temple in 2009, and since then I don't have a salary. So I live by whatever people give me, donations and tickets for the airplane, and then sometimes I can give to others because people give me and I don't need so much, so I can give to other people when they are in need. Where I visit, there is somebody who needs, and then I can sometimes contribute. So not only that Krishna is maintaining me, but he's giving me sometimes extra that I can give to others. And I believe that he's not poor, and he will provide what I need if I give to others. If I give whatever I give, knowledge, support, ideas, encouragement, or sometimes I give them material things also. And Krishna wants, if Krishna gives you things, he wants you to actually share. Like in the Vedic culture, when Brahmanas get charity, they immediately give in charity. They give a lot in charity. They just keep the basic things for themselves. So, don't accumulate. Just share, and more will come to you. That is my recommendation about giving. Because some people need, and you have too much. So what is the use of keeping things in your house? And you may say, but I need for my daughter, I need for my grandson, I need to make sure that like 4 or 5 generations are taken care of. Even that can be taken care of if you give. And now, what do rich people do? Successful investors or businessmen, they make so much money because they're expert, and then the pinnacle of the success of their huge earnings is that they give a lot of money in charity. They give a lot of money in charity. But you can start giving even when you don't have anything. You can always give something. So Vedic culture that we are following is actually a giving culture, hospitality culture. It is said when you receive a guest, so if you don't have anything, at least you can give them a seat and a cup of water, or if you don't even have that, at least you can offer sweet words. So you can always give something. For example, if you can't speak, you can, in your mind, you can bless them. You can always give something. You can give blessings. In the Vedic culture, there was professional blessing givers, and they would get a lot of charities. It's very good business. You just professional blessing givers.
Professional blessing.
Yeah, give blessings and then you give them a donation.
But blessing must work.
Okay. Yeah, well, they have to check that if that works. But there were, if you read in the Krishna book, there is these professional blessing givers. They give blessings. They're Brahmanas, I think. They're Brahmanas. So there's always something to give. And it's such a nice feeling for a person, for a spirit soul, to be giving, to be thinking. If I just think, if I manage to ask myself in the morning, how can I give today? My whole day is different. And if you write it down, even if you write it down, then it becomes so exciting. You make a list of things you can contribute or give today, and then your day is amazing. If you're a businessman, you have customers or a restaurant, then you think, what can I do for my customers? Something special. What I recommend that you can do in giving area, you can do pleasant surprises. Pleasant surprises. You pleasantly surprise somebody. You can start with people you love, giving them something more than you gave so far. People that you like. It's very easy. When you like somebody, it's very easy. But the bigger challenge is to start serving and giving to people you don't like. And if you see them as spirit souls, if you see them as part and parcel of God, if you understand that they are also dear to God, then you can start giving to them. Investing in people to help them succeed. Investing in people to help them succeed. The more you give to others, the more God is pleased, and the more you advance. And the more it will be given to you. The law of reciprocation works impeccably. The law of cause and effect works impeccably. So try to think about how can I give more? What can I contribute? You can give support to people. I mean, every day I speak to people and try to provide some support and try to listen, try to show interest in their lives, and it's amazing how much difference it can make in people's lives. If they can talk to somebody who is listening, and then they can think about their lives, they can think about their goals, and your support, your care can give them a lot of confidence, a lot of clarity, and give them strength. Give them strength. If you use excellent questions, I mean, you can give people questions, or you can help them to find amazing questions for their lives. It looks like nothing, to give someone a question, but actually one question can completely change your life. Sometimes people tell me, wow, this is an excellent question. Or I also had that experience, then other people ask me some amazing questions that completely expand my thinking and expand my options in life. You can give questions, you can give support, you can give encouragement, you can give praise. You can also give criticism, but it should be constructive criticism. You can give gifts, you can give food, you can give your ear, you can give advice. Many people like to give advice also. You can teach, you can give knowledge, you can give your clothes you don't need, you can give your best clothes if somebody likes it and then you want to please them, so you sacrifice your best dress because somebody else, you will make another person happy. So you can choose what you want to give and to whom you want to give, but just act of giving is so powerful, it helps so much. People tell me, my emotional cup is empty. My emotional cup is empty, my emotional glass is empty. And I say, start giving and it will be filled in. They say, but I didn't get enough. How can I give? But actually, as soon as you start giving, you actually initiate the energy of love, and you start to feel different. Why? Because this is our nature. Our nature. What enriches our lives is not taking, it's giving. So I will be very rich if I just get things. People give me and I say, thank you, thank you, thank you. Wow, I have so much, I feel so rich. But actually you will feel more rich if you start giving. And what happens with people you are giving to? They become inspired to give themselves. So that is the success of your giving. The success of your giving is that you inspire giving in others. And then givers are more happy than takers. Yeah. Givers are more happy than takers. So giving is completely selfish activity. Giving is a completely selfish activity. Giving is actually more beneficial for a giver than for a taker. I'm not sure if you believe me, but you can try.
I believe 100%.
So you can try. You can see who is more happy, the one who gives or the one who gets. You have experience being on the side of a taker, a receiver, and you also have experience being on the side of a giver. So it's such an amazing, this is God's law. This is God's blessing, the principle of giving. So again, I want to always take you back to the question, how can I give today? Start your day. What can I give? And make a list. Make a list and start doing things. One thing you can easily do, give thank yous. Thank people. Practice gratitude. Whom can I thank today? And you can have creative ways of thanking people. You can thank them in many different ways. You can thank them through others, you can thank them on email, you can thank them on Facebook, you can thank them by sending a picture. You can thank them by offering some service. You can thank them for, sometimes in my country there is a saying, thank you for existing. It's amazing. It's so appreciative. Thank you for existing at all. It's wonderful that such a being as you exists. I'm so glad to meet you. So give thank yous. You can thank your parents. You can even thank people that hurt you. Because if if they didn't hurt you, you would be actually feeling very comfortable in this world, and you would be not looking for alternatives and for eternal life. But for people who have done anything for you, you can thank. My friend, a famous executive coach from California, he once was in a very turbulent flight, but extremely turbulent flight. He thought we are finished. And he was thinking, if I die now, what would I regret the most? And he felt that I would regret the most that I didn't thank people who did something for me. So from that day, he started thanking everyone for every small thing, and I am also the receiver of his thanks, because he thanked me for whatever little thing I did for him on his website or whatever. And I learned from him to thank people for everything, every single thing. And even thank them for thanking you. You say, you're welcome, or what else you say? It's my pleasure. When people thank you, what else you say? It's my pleasure, you're welcome. In my country there is a saying, when they say thank you, you say next time too. I mean, come again, something like that. I'll do something for you again. It will be my pleasure. So thank them for thanking, but then whatever. Like I travel and I have a bag, and then I really, if you've got Ryanair, you have a limit to your luggage, so you always make sure that you have just the basic things inside. You can't have anything extra. Even papers, when they pile up, then it becomes thick and it cannot fit in these limits size. So I always try to have the most basic things and not have anything extra, just what I need for the basic survival, and then always give in charity, give in charity, give in charity. Who needs this? Who needs that? And like I get a gift, and then people they say, I give you this, but you should not give it to anybody. Because they know there is a possibility that this will be given, and usually I still give it, because I can't have too many gadgets like iPhone, iPad, a laptop. So sometimes if you need something, you contact me, I might have extra, and I can give it to you. some like fancy gadgets. Clothes, you won't be interested in my clothes, it's very simple. And other things. I always have amazing e-books, amazing tools for success, and coaching tools and ideas. These ideas, if you need, I have tons of ideas, both from the spiritual books and from the professional books. And one thing that is lacking in this world that you can give unlimitedly is support. Support. It's just like two functions of a coach is support and challenge. Of course, there is a guidance function, but guidance is done through questions mainly. And if you're a teacher, of course, you can teach. But support and challenge. And support, you want to support people, you want to affirm people, to affirm their worth. Today I had a first training session with an amazing person from Australia. She's a psychic. She can see her aura, she can read her destiny, and she's just amazingly empowered to know many things that ordinary people don't know. And she's using it to help people a lot. She's a devotee, she's crazy about kirtan. So she said, I want to learn about Gita coaching because I get bored with my work. And her work is extremely, special. She can see, when she comes to you, she can see everything in it. And she can tell you amazing things. And she said, I want to learn about Gita coaching. So we spoke about empowerment, we spoke about support, we spoke about recognizing people's worth and potential and communicating it. So I asked people, I mentioned this yesterday, I asked people, what are your 10 greatest successes in life? That they write it down. What are your 10 greatest talents? What are your 10 greatest strengths? And then people have 30 things to think about. Sometimes they feel very bad or lack of self-confidence, but you can show them how they already have a lot of things in their lives, how they have potential, they have worth. So giving encouragement, giving support. You can tell people, I'm always here for you. This is really, really powerful. It means a lot to many people. I'm always here for you. You can contact me anytime. I will listen to you. We will discuss your life and we will find solutions. And I'm here to support you. I appreciate you. I think you are an amazing human being, and I'm grateful to Krishna that I know you, that you have come into my life, and I feel honored to serve you. I feel honored to serve you. So when you tell people things like this, then they feel very, it's like their soul is nurtured. Their soul is nurtured. So we want to give people whatever we give in such a way that they become strong. They become really, really strong, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, even physically. And that they can cope with whatever life gives them. And they become so Krishna conscious that Krishna protects them from all sides. So you don't want to be a savior. You don't want to be a savior. Savior is nice, but that's only first aid. To be a savior is good if it's just only first aid. You want to be an empowerer. Somebody who empowers people. Actually, you don't empower them, Krishna empowers them. But you create an environment, you create a situation where they become empowered, they tap into their own potential, and they just feel stronger. They feel stronger. And you help them create pillars of strength in their lives. Pillars of strength in their lives. Like chanting is one pillar, reading is one pillar, deep friendship is one pillar, spiritual master can be a pillar. Srila Prabhupada is always here for us, whole parampara. So Krishna in the form of the deity, then for some people pillar is maybe somebody's love. So there is so many things that we can do for people, we can give, we can serve, and in this way we can actually become a servant. The giver is a servant. So giver's heart means you give from your heart, you don't regret when you give, you don't regret, you give with pleasure, you give with full heart, sincerely. You give with an intention to inspire the person, to enrich their lives, to support them, to help them. And you feel good, actually, when you do that. Can you close this, please? So giving is always good. Whatever you can give, if it's 1 cent or €1,000,000 or not money, but not only money, but other things, whatever you can give, it's good for you. It's good for you to give. So now, if we approach life from the point of view of giving, then there is unlimited opportunity to serve and to give. There is never lack. There is unlimited possibilities. How can someone say that there is no jobs and work? There is so much work to be done. If you want to work, you will find work. If there is no work officially, you can create business. You can create work. I'll give you an example how parents who didn't have money to give to their children, pocket money, they created work, which makes money. You know Mayavati? Mayavati and Marin, from Grubišno Polje, Virovitica, okay.
Oh yeah, it's Russian. Really, yeah.
She's a teacher. Anyway, Martiji from Croatia, she has 2 children. And so they're teachers in Croatia don't get a big salary. She and her husband are teachers. And when they went for the holidays, they actually asked their children to make their own pocket money. So they asked them to draw some paintings, children's style, and put them on a bench where the tourists are passing, and put a little stone so the wind doesn't blow away, and put a little basket for the donation. And there is these 2 super cute children sitting there with these pictures, and when people look, they immediately know what to do. So they collected so much money. People even sometimes don't take the picture, they just put money. Sometimes they take the picture, and it's a creative way to make money. Now, if you're in a business, one very powerful spiritual principle of business I want to give you will help you whatever you do. Whether you're a devotee to devotional service or you're a businessman who want to make money, this principle is universal. It's a principle of giving. Principle, if you contribute to other people's lives, God will maintain you. So make sure you always contribute to other people's lives in significant ways. Always. So again, go back to the same question, how can I give today? How can I serve my customers, my clients today better than yesterday? What can I do? Adding value to other people's lives. Adding value. And Krishna sees that. And He will provide. Oh, He wants to serve. Let me give Him more resources. So then automatically you have for yourself. You don't have to worry about yourself. If you're always thinking about how to serve others. It's my experience 30 years, and especially last 4 years when I'm jobless, no job. I have never worked except 8 years in London for the temple, where I was employed. The temple is registered as a charity, and I'm grateful to Krishna that I didn't have to work with people who are not spiritual, but I work with devotees and was paid for this so I can maintain my family. But when you have nothing, then how do you live? People ask me, what about your pension? I say, pension? I don't know. Let's see. I mean, I'm just going to serve people until I die. And if Krishna doesn't give me food or money, what can I do? Maybe I'll die. But I don't believe that, because Krishna always gives more than you need. Krishna always gives you more than you need. He gives you so much that you can give to others, if you are serving in some way. So the law of giving is one of the most powerful success principles from the Shastra, from the scriptures. And many mundane, materialistic even, I can't say materialistic because many of these people are very spiritual, like success teachers about management, leadership or whatever, they actually say that the key to happiness is giving. The key to happiness is giving. So now, you're devotees, you're intelligent people, but you can actually examine your own life, whether you are applying this principle in your life and to what extent. How much you believe in this principle. How much you believe in this principle. In the Bhagavatam, I want to repeat again that Krishna says, if you give what is most dear to you, I am most pleased and you can earn eternal life. So at the Bhaktivedanta Manor in England, there is people, they come and mainly Indian families, and they bring the old clothes that they don't need. Sometimes they sit in my class, and then I speak about this verse, how Krishna says, give something that is most dear to you. So I say, so if you want to give something to Krishna or to devotees, Krishna will be more pleased if you give the best you have. So you have a silk sari, bring it to devotees. Of course, devotees might not take it. Like some modest Mataji, she will say, I wouldn't wear this, it's too fancy. Or, I don't know. Or a dhoti. If you give me a fancy dhoti, I wouldn't wear it. One devotee sent me a very fancy dhoti from India. I still don't wear it because it's too fancy. It has like amazing colors and embroidery. And this is how I feel more comfortable in this. This shows Krishna consciousness. Then you have jewelry, give it to the deities, decorate Krishna. And what is most dear to you? Maybe it's a necklace that you got for your wedding, or you got this golden coin for your birthday, like golden coin. And you're really attached to it. Your grandmother gave it to you. And then you say, okay, I'm going to give it to Krishna. Because it anyway belongs to him. Everything belongs to him anyway, so what can we give? We can just give him back. So our giving is actually giving back to Krishna. And giving to devotees is so pleasurable. Once I gave a very fired up class about giving in Warsaw, Poland. And I spoke about how sometimes Krishna tests you, that, you have something you're attached to, and then Krishna makes an arrangement where you have to give it away, or you're in a situation where you can't give it away, or somebody needs it, or somebody wants it. So, I spoke about that I had an iPod, and I was really attached to my iPod because I could actually put a lot of Prabhupada's classes there, and I can listen on the airplane or on the train. But I didn't say in the class that I gave it away. So after the class, one devotee approached me, and I was thinking, well, he will ask me, how can I give more? And then he said, do you still have this iPod? So he was inspired to take the last time, then he will start giving, I think. So, but I have already given it away to somebody who inspired me by how they, very young person, contributing so nicely to a meeting. And, when you have something and you think and Krishna is giving you signs, give it away, give it as a gift, give it as a charity, then what you should think is that, well, I'm sure Krishna has more in store for me. There is an amazing example of a woman. She was the best candidate for a very, very high-class job. Wonderful job, well paid, very nice, interesting, creative. She was the best candidate by her qualification, and somebody else got it. And she has faith in God. So the man who saw this, this is the author of one book, he was writing this instance, this example. He asked her, how can you be like this? I mean, you just lost the best opportunity, this amazing job. She was very peaceful. She said, I know God has something better for me in store. This is faith. You don't get something, but you know God has a plan. And what happened, in 1 month, she got even better job. Even better job. And then they met. And she said, look, I got a better job. So he is not a fiction. He's helping. Krishna is helping. So there are so many examples of giving, and I can give you the book, The Power of Giving, but in the scriptures you can see, and I can give you all Prabhupada's quotes on giving. You can read everything he said on giving. Prabhupada said, I have not come here to take, I have come here to give. So this is a giving moment. Maybe we will ask you for a donation, but actually it is an opportunity for you to give. We can survive without a nation, but it's an opportunity to do service. And but we want to give people Krishna consciousness, and the best gift that you can give is what?
Chanting of Saladin.
Okay.
It's thankfulness.
What?
Thankfulness.
Thankfulness. Okay. Gratitude.
Yourself.
Huh?
Yourself.
Yourself. Wow, that's nice. I think the best. Okay, that's the second best. The best gift is to give people Krishna in some form, because Krishna is the best gift. He's the best reward. Srila Prabhupada mentions in the Gita the reward of Krishna. You get the reward of Krishna. Krishna is like a reward. So give Krishna in some way, because this is what people miss. People miss Krishna. He miss that relationship with Krishna. They miss connection with Krishna. They miss affection for Krishna, and they don't feel Krishna's mercy enough, they don't feel Krishna's love enough. So you can become an extended hand of Krishna's care and show people that he cares about them. So you can become instrument in Krishna's hands. Mother Teresa said, I am pen and God writes. I am a pen and God writes. She also said, if we don't show people that God cares about them, how they will know it? So we have an opportunity to be an instrument in God's hands and to show that He is interested. I sometimes just tell people, if you come to me for a coaching session, I will just tell you bluntly and frankly, I'm convinced that God cares about you. And it's not an accident that we are talking. So they say, but I don't have this, I don't have that. And where is God? I'm not sure He cares. So then I say, okay, so what do you have? What do you have? I have this, I have that. Oh my goodness, what else do you have? Then they make a list. They see that they have much more than they thought. Then I said, look, if anything is there, anything lacking, then we can work to get it for you. But God cares, and God's people also care about you. I care about you. So I'm supposed to be like His servant. So do you believe that God makes arrangements for you? So you increase people's faith by serving them, by giving them something valuable, giving them your friendship. You make a good point. We offer ourselves to people. I'm here for you, to serve you from now to the rest of your life, and I want to help you to come closer to God, to connect with Him, and to be happy. So these are some of the points about giving. We could be speaking more. But on the practical side, again, I want to bring you back to the question that you can use every single day. The question is, how can I give today? This question will transform your life if you ask it often. So try to use it and see what happens. I'm doing this, I'm using it, it helps me a lot. And anybody who uses this question, their lives change. So thank you very much for listening. Today was a little bit less interactive because we also had the other sessions, they were more interactive. Tomorrow we also because there's 2 topics to cover in one session, so I'm not allowing too much interaction. But now we have an opportunity to have some questions. Yes?
Is it okay to think that Krishna has more in store for me when I give out? Is it okay to think that? Or shall I just give it with pure heart without counting for anything?
You defeated me completely. So what can I say? What you said is perfect. So we give unconditionally. We don't expect. But if you are still, I would say, fruitive, fruitive? Mm-hmm. We are still expect some results, and we still attach to having something, material things or fame or whatever, then we have faith that, you see, Krishna has something better doesn't mean that it will be some material possession. It can be, more Krishna consciousness, it can be more compassion, You understand? So in that sense, you can broaden the understanding on what is in store. But what you are suggesting is perfect, that, I'm giving to serve Him, to please Him, I'm showing my love, and unconditionally I'm giving. So actually, thank you so much. I forgot to speak about unconditional love. This is really, really, really important. I believe that God wants us to love unconditionally. What does it mean? You give without expecting anything in return. You love without expecting love back. And see what happens in your life, how your life changes. So this is something super important. Unconditional giving.
Is it that the same that unconditional love, unconditional giving, unconditional work, unconditional thankfulness, like everything, all your state of everything what you do, it's unconditional. Like you make
You practice this?
Yeah.
Okay. So happy about that?
Yeah.
Yeah. But this is possible when you believe in abundance. You believe that God is not poor and that God's children are not poor.
But for example, you make the food, yeah? And if you really offer and you put all your heart and you never ask, is it tasty? So because it's already conditional. If you expect that somebody at least says, yeah, it's wonderful food. When you give it unconditionally, you you put your heart in it, yeah? And you even don't need a compliment or something back or any message.
But you are interested if it is useful for them.
Yeah, so people
Because
eat.
you want to serve them well.
Yeah, that's true. But
You're not so unconditional that you are careless. Unconditional doesn't mean careless.
I invited people for food, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And they said, this is and this. But I don't know Dutch language good. And I asked one woman to correct. And you know what she made? I wanted to make friendly level, but she made pure advertisement. Pure advertisement. And I said, no, sorry, I cannot send it. And the difference was very, very tiny. But for example, she says, come for tasty food. It's already, you are promising something tasty, but you cannot promise the result it doesn't have of you. Of course you will do maximum to make it tasty. But
I think you're mixing something, unconditional giving and the marketing and other things. When you offer something, actually it's very important that when you're giving something, you should advertise it. You should advertise it because people don't understand what is the benefit of what you give. For example, if you offer some Bhagavad Gita and you are so detached that you don't say anything about the Gita, they will not take it. But if you say, look, this book has completely transformed my life. It's the best book in the universe. It is the best success manual. This is what I'm screaming every day. This is the best success manual. It has so many success principles. Take it. They say, okay. So, we should do marketing like anything when we are giving. Because people don't know. People don't know how they will benefit by your association. So you make a blog, you make a Facebook, you say, I'm doing this. If you talk to me, you will get this, you will get that. True. So,
okay, maybe I'm wrong.
Okay, next question, yes.
No, I just wanna say that I'm a giver by nature. I'm just really a giver, compulsive giver.
Compulsive giver.
Yeah, but I didn't, for a long time, I was not connected with a higher power or a God for a long time. And came a few moments in my life that I had nothing, no money, nothing, because I just gave too much. And every time something happened and I had, and but I didn't see that as a blessing, but now when I came to first time with Krishna gave me so many blessings, so many, and I didn't understand why. And now in this class, it's the answer, because I've been giving all my life, and every time something. I don't care to, this is true what you're saying. It's true. But now I am connected with Krishna, and now I don't know. It's I'm not for 1 second. I'm afraid that I'm not gonna have, that I'm gonna have a lack of something.
If you need anything, you can also speak to me. Because I help people.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. I don't have material things, but I give a lot. But before I had material things, I have money, but I don't have nothing now.
But you have peace in your heart, which many people don't have. No?
I have, but not all the time.
We can speak about it. We can speak about it if you like separately. But you can refine your giving strategy. You can refine your giving approach, and then you can become a very intelligent giver, so that everybody is taken care of. Because I'm not teaching you to give and you neglect yourself. You should also give to yourself.
I'm learning that.
No, you may say, oh my goodness, but that's selfish. Giving to myself. But you're keeping yourself fit to serve others and to give to others. So you don't want to get so penniless that you're just in anxiety. You understand?
Yeah, but for me it's now, if I always need to love and to serve in a way. I can't live only for myself. So for me it's now, this is, I mean, if I don't do it for myself, I do it for Krishna, to keep myself healthy. I have 2 children, but they are big now, they are grown up,
Okay.
daughters. But I think all the time of Krishna, if it's not for me, if I don't want to be healthy, then I do it for Krishna to be healthy.
Yeah.
To serve better.
Yes. You have to be fit. You have to take care of yourself.
Yeah, for me it's important to do it to be in a relationship. I can't do it only for myself. But before I didn't know Krishna, Krishna only for 1 year now. Before I had God, but God without form, so it was a little bit difficult.
Now God has a form.
Yeah, but now I know that.
Yes.
Because I was looking for a relationship, and not with a person, but with something.
Krishna is a person.
It's a person, I know, but I didn't
Not
know.
ordinary person.
I didn't know before.
Okay, thank you. Hare Krishna. Yes?
I don't know if I don't. Because I was just responding to this lady. I'm compulsive holder, so I'm trying all my life to save, starting with animals. So I had 16 cats. Now I have now I have only 7. So the last 3 years I lost 9 old cats, and it's very difficult for me to say goodbye to animals. But also I have a lot of books, a lot of stuff. And every time I think they are better by me, because at least they are safe, at least they are. But I know that I make mistake because my home became kind of pack house, and storage place.
Yes.
There is no space for even for enough for my cats, and so. But I cannot make the kind of shift to change, and now slow last time I understand that it's actually not about giving, because it's quite difficult to give in our world, because especially in Amsterdam everybody has everything. You can find in giving, there's a lot of giveaway shops, and there come people like me, hoarders, they also take everything, but there's so many stuff, so it's very difficult to be, like you say, intelligent giver. So sometimes I think at least they are safe in my house.
Okay.
But there's still, I'm missing time, I'm missing space, I'm trying to study, and because you have to take care about all this stuff. So it's actually, I think it's about making space, making time for spiritual and intelligent stuff.
So then you can give,
Yeah, but still it's very difficult to find balance.
I think
maybe you two should
connect.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you very much. I just want to finish with a little song, but tomorrow we have another session at 6 o'clock, and it's called Become a Trusted Authority. Now, trusted authority has to do with all areas of life. It's not only spiritual life, but also business, whatever, relationships. And the second theme for tomorrow is start a spiritual revolution. So we want to get inspiration from this seminar to bring about a practical change in our lives and to start maybe a new chapter. And so I invite you to come tomorrow, and also I think on Sunday I'm giving class. Sunday.
What will be on Sunday?
I'm not sure about the topic. I have to choose the topic. But on Saturday we have a concert here, so I will play more songs and tell you stories from Woodstock, from the huge festival.
And which time is
6 o'clock.
Oh, we played. There was 700,000 people in the summer last year, young people with so many tents. But let us finish with a little bit of chanting. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, to sing another one. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Okay, our last song. A famous singer, Bob Dylan, he actually had a religious phase where he made some albums that were religious, and this is a melody from one of his songs that is called Every Grain of Sand, and it's actually like a religious text. But I took the melody and made a Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Rama Thank you, Hare Krishna.